Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. एतेषां जाति विहितानां कर्मणां सम्यक अनुष्ठानानां स्वर्ग फल प्राप्ति ही फलम स्वभावतः. When we complete our duties according to the varnashrama, the result as told in our scriptures is we go to the heavens, etc. Now karanantarat tu idam lakshamanam vakshamanam phalam. Now another way, the same truth is told in the 45th verse. Sve sve karmanya bhirataha samsiddhim labhate naraha swakarma nirata siddhim यथा विन्दति तच्छृणु. स्वे स्वे यथोक्त लक्षण भेदे कर्मणि अभिरतः तत्परः संसिद्धिं स्वकर्म अनुष्ठानात् अशुद्धि क्षये सति कायेन्द्रियाणां ज्ञान निष्ठा योग्यता लक्षणां लभते प्राप्नोति नरः अधिकृत पुरुषः. Now this is the foundation of the whole spiritual practice. Sway, sway in one's own. What is one's own? Depending upon what is the type of person we are. If we are knowledge predominant or action predominant or wealth predominant or service predominant, meaning whether we are Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or we are Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, or bring these two things together, Varna and Ashrama. A Brahmachari is a Shudra, Seva Pradhan. Grihastha is a Vaishya. He is Bhoga Pradhan, selfishness Pradhan. Vanaprastha is a Kshatriya who is able to lead, spend time for others. And Sannyasi is a Brahmana. So depending upon what is your own predominant thing, Sve Sve Karmani Abhirataha Tatparaha. So when we engage ourselves with all sincerity and full involvement in our own field, samsiddhim swakarma anushtanat, when we fulfill our own duties, swakarma anushtanat. Now here the word anushtana means what? When something is done with commitment and dedication, it is called as anushtan. When we do something half-heartedly and somehow to complete, that is not Anushtan. Anusthana is we ourselves decide that I will complete Hanuman Chalisa 108 times on every Saturday, or if I am in North, every Tuesday. Now this Anushthan I have taken. So when I have taken this Anushthan, nobody has compelled me, then I will do it with all commitment and sincerity. And when this will come, commitment and sincerity, if I have got full faith that by worshipping Hanumanji I am going to be growing spiritually, then only, in the same manner. When we have full conviction and understanding about this fact, that wherever we are kept by the Lord, that is the right place for our evolution, and as a result, Sve Sve Karmani Abhirataha, we must perform all our duties according to what we are. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. According to this, Tatparahasan, extremely sincerely, dedicatedly working, samsiddhim, swakarma anushthanat, by the karma anushthan, ashuddhi kshaye sati, kayendriyanam. So the impurities with reference to the body, senses is gone. Ashuddhi kshaye sati. When this ashuddhi of the body, indriya, goes away, means what? The ashuddhi of the body is the tamoguni jnanam. When I start living at the body level, then the nidra alasya pramadotham tat tamasamudarutam. So living only as the body, by the body, on everybody, there is the tamasic. So shuddhi will be, now the body is no more a burden, but it is an asset. This is the shuddhi of the body. Then indriyanam shuddhi. Indriyanam shuddhi is, they are always bright and brilliant. When our faculties are bright and brilliant, they are in optimum use. See? If we don't use any faculties, they become unused, atrophy. Like, if somebody doesn't talk at all, slowly, the faculty of talking goes away. If somebody doesn't chant loudly, then that person is not able to chant. The voice doesn't come out openly. Why? Because that faculty is closed. If somebody doesn't do the japa regularly, then the moment he starts japa, he will go to sleep. Therefore, the indriyanam shuddhi, the purity of the senses or the faculties is, they are always bright and brilliant. With this alone, jnana nishtha yogyata lakshanam samsiddhim lavate. Then we become qualified for the jnana nishtha, for the firm abidance in the knowledge of the self. Lavate, who gets naraha, adhikruta purushaha. This is addressed to the human beings. Who is qualified for the karma with reference to the knowledge. Shamo damastapa shaucham kshanti rarjavame vacha. Or those who are qualified for shauryam tejo dhrutir daksham. Or those who are qualified krushi gauraksha vanijyam. Or those who are qualified for paricharyatmakam shudrasyapi swabhavajam. So depending upon this, we do our job. The attention is not outside. Attention is on inside. So when the purity takes place, then we become more and more qualified to know the truth. So kim swa karma anushtana deva sakshat samsiddhi. Is it by performing our duty sincerely, do we attain the liberation, the absolute freedom? Samsiddhi. Sakshat, directly? No. Katham tarhi? Then how do we attain that? Swa karma nirataha yatha siddhim vindati tashrunu. He who is thus keeping himself busy, engaged in his life according to the varnashrama, according to the position in life and his own makeup, whether he is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, how he will attain the samsiddhi, that I will tell you now. Listen. So there are 2 points brought out in this verse. One is, by doing our duty sincerely, we attain the siddhi number 1, and that is, we become qualified to know the truth. And thereafter, we will be able to know the truth. So now this is the principle. Now the next thing comes, how this person who is busy in his own undertakings, work of life, how he attains the qualification, he becomes purified. This is what I am going to tell you. Tashrunu, that you now listen. Now the 46th verse. Yata pravrittir bhutanam येन सर्वमिदं ततम् स्वकर्मणा तमभ्यर्च सिद्धिं विन्दति मानवः यतो यस्मात् प्रवृत्ति ही उत्पत्ति चेष्टा वा यस्मात् अंतर्यामिणः ईश्वरात् यतः यस्मात् प्रवृत्ति उत्पत्ति चेष्टा वा यस्मात् अंतर्यामिणः ईश्वरात् भूतानां प्राणिनां स्यात् that because of who is that antaryami Ishvara, so that Paramatma Ishvara, the inner controller, because of whom all our activities are conducted in life. Bhutanam utpatti cheshtava. Everything is born out of that Ishvara and all the things are existing in Him. Everything is functioning, vibrating because of that divine presence. So yataha sarva bhutanam pravrutti and yena idam sarvam tatam. And idam sarvam jagat tatam vyaptam. And that Paramatma who is permeating in and through the total world. So two things. Paramatma is the material cause of this world, therefore yena vyaptam idam sarvam. Like the gold is the material cause of the ornaments, so all the ornaments are permeated, supported by the gold. Now the goldsmith is the efficient cause of the ornaments, a living one. In the same manner, Paramatma is both the material cause, therefore yena sarvamidam tatam, and yata pravrittir bhutanam, and because of whom everything is enlivened in this world, the whole world is created by whom. Thus he is simultaneously the efficient and the material cause. To that Paramatma tam swakarmana purvoktena prativarnam tam ishvaram abhyarcha pujayitva aradhya. So what we have to do now with all our activities, we worship, invoke that Ishvara who is the efficient cause and the material cause of this world. Swakarmana tamabhyarcha. Now see what is the basic difference that is coming. This is the turning point in all our spiritual practice. First of all, we are told to do our duties. Swakarmani abhirataha, swakarma nirataha siddhim. We keep ourselves busy in our all individual activities. Means what? Means we should be doing our duties sincerely. So when we start doing the duties, one problem is created. What is? I am the doer notion. Kartrutva bhiman is the result of duty performance. Now, as long as the Kartrutva Bhiman will remain, till then we will be suffering the limitations of the Karma Chakra. So I do the karma, I get the Karma Phala, and because of the Karma Phala I am again born, and again I do the karma, and in this manner there is no way out. So what is to be done? Give up karma? You cannot give up karma. Then what is to be done? Give up the Kartrutva Bhiman. When you give up the Kartrutva Bhiman, you are no more duty oriented in your lifestyle. Now see, go back to the second chapter. What was told by the Lord? Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturubhuhu ma te sangaha astu akarmani. That was the duty orientation. Now here, swakarmana tam abhyarcha, drop the duty orientation and begin the devotion orientation. That means no more live to fulfill your duty, but live with devotion to the Lord, and through your action worship Him. Swakarmana tam abhyarcha. Now what will happen as the result of this? See, karma kim param karma tajjadam. when we remain in the purview or in the limitations of the karma, we remain in the area of inertness. We remain in the kingdom of the matter. Now we have to get out of this kingdom of matter, Prakriti, and enter the Purusha Tattva. So what do we do now? Then we get out of this karma to get into the consciousness. So we start invoking the God, the Creator, the Sustainer, the one who is permeating in and through this whole world. So the karma become divinized when they are done for the sake of the Lord. And when the karmas are done for the sake of the selfishness or the karma phala, desire fulfillment, then the same karma become inert. This is how converting the duty orientation into devotion orientation is a checkpost whether we are progressing on the spiritual path or we are caught up in our own creation. How beautiful it is, see? Now such a seeker, he is no more doing anything as a duty. You know what is the difference between duty and the devotion? In duty, there is a time limit. In devotion, there is no time limit. We have seen here, how that particular signing time, duty. The other day somebody was asking me, Swami, you don't take any holiday and you know your classes are also not during the office hours. And then I said, during office hours I sleep. Therefore I don't take classes. Because it is not the duty that is being done. Had it been taken as my duty to teach you, I would have been tired and frustrated. See, I knew so much, but they are not learning. Then they suffer in life. Therefore, duty gives us a time frame. Duty gives us tiredness. Duty gives us frustration. Duty can never give you fulfillment in life. Then get into devotion. So what is the devotion? Duties perform with love for someone whom you love. Now who is worthy of loving? Yata pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam. The one because of whom the whole world is existing. The one who is permitting in and through the total creation. He is the best. So we live every moment of our life for the sake of the Lord. And thus, duty is dropped and devotion begins. In duty, you are a votee, voting in favor of your own responsibility. When you are a devotee, you don't limit your life only in a particular field, but yours is a holistic approach, every aspect. That's why, when the college students and the teacher relationship is there, it is the relationship of the tutor taught. Because the teachers are paid and the students are paying the fees. So only that much relationship. But when we come on the spiritual teacher-taught relationship, it is no more the relationship of the teacher teaching the students as a duty, but it is as his worship to the Lord in the form of the students who have come in front of him. Therefore, swakarmana tam abhyarcha. So, swakarmana purvoktena prativarnam. So, whatever are our duties as Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, tam Ishwaram abhyarcha pujayitva aradhya. So, when we do the puja of the Ishvara or we do the aradhana, invoke the Lord, what exactly it means? It means every action is done cheerfully and happily. Second thing, no action is done as a burden. Third thing, it is done perfectly. Isn't it? When we have our temple or the idol decorated for the puja, so what we do? The best. In the same manner, all our activities will be the best performance, because it is being done for the one whom we love, respect, revere the most. In this manner, abhyarcha pujayitva kevalam jnana nishtha yogyata lakshanam siddhim vindati manavaha. As a result, what will happen now? Now the attention of the devotee is not on the karma phala. His attention is only on anena ishvara priyatam. By this, may the Lord be propitiated, may the Lord be worshipped. And therefore, every activity is God-oriented and dedicated to Him. As a result, our mind becomes purer and purer. There is neither the load of likes and dislikes, nor the burden of expectation of the karma phala, the result. So, swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. Manavo manushaha siddhim vindati. He attains, this is the siddhi. What is the siddhi? We become qualified to discover the truth. See? There is no reservation. The reservation has destroyed everywhere, including the spiritual path. What is the reservation? If you give this much of donation, we will reserve a seat for you in the ashram. But in that reality, there is no reservation. You have to be qualified. So, jnana nishtha yogyata lakshanam, becoming qualified to know the truth. Then only. Yataha evam ataha, this being so, Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushthitat swabhavaniyatam karma kurvannapnoti kilbisham. Shreyan prashasya taraha svodharmaha swadharmaha. Shreyan prashasya taraha, more meaningful for us. There are two things. One is something we like, and second is something which is good for us. We like sweets, but the bitter Ayurvedic medicine is good for us. So, what should be our approach to life? What we like or what is good for us? Therefore, here, Shreyan Prashasya Taraha, this is always superior. Swadharmaha, one's own dharma. Vigunaha api. Although vigunaha, with gunas, vi means with gunas, because all the karmas are the result of the three gunas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So these are our dharma, and all of them fall in the purview of the three gunas. So although they are in the limitations of the three gunas, yet we have no choice, we have to use them and get out of them. The best example you can think of is that pole vault jump. You take a big post in your hand, come running, fix it in the soil, go right high up, where you could never have reached by yourself, but you take the help of this post, go up to a height, and thereafter leave the post and go to the other side. In the same manner, these are the three gunas creating the four kind of personalities: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Now, if these three gunas are creating these personalities and we are born with one personality, So instead of feeling good or bad about it, use the same and go beyond. Therefore, wherever we are placed, that is the best for us. Otherwise, what happens, we go to the hospital and then we are given a very simple food. And the other person in the next bed, he is given all rich food. So we start complaining, see, I am from the lower caste, therefore I am given the bad food. He is from the higher caste, therefore he is given good food. And then I defy the orders of the doctor. Then I go and eat that rich food given to the other person. And then I become serious in life. What is the reason? I was suffering from the stomach elements and the other fellow was perfectly all right as regards his stomach is concerned. He had an injury, a fracture of his hand or a leg. So he can eat whatever he wants. But I was thinking that no, there is a biasness in the mind of the doctor. In the same manner, we have this wrong notion that we are blessed or cursed by the Lord. No. And therefore, Swadharmaha Shreyan Prashasyataraha, superior for us. Vigunaha api. The Bhagavan says, api iti api shabdo drashtavyaha. Now, by the word api, Bhagavan Shankara means here the sentence ends. So, Swadharmaha Vigunaha api Shreyan, this is how the sentence is. Iti api shabdo drashtavyaha. So, after this, api, the word should be added as drashtavyaha. There is no drashtavya word in this verse. So, how the sentence should be read? Swadharmaha vigunaha api shreyan drashtavyaha. This is the sentence. Paradharma su anushtitat. Paradharma su anushtitat. The other people's job having done better. In comparison to that, whatever is our job, that is the best for our evolution. Swabhavaniyatam, swabhavena niyatam, yad uktam, swabhavajam. We have seen swabhavaniyatam, with whatever tendencies we are born. It is necessary that we live in this world to work out the tendencies, not to add more tendencies to our mind. And therefore, the purpose of our functioning in this world is purification of the mind so that we can attain the qualification for the jnana nishtha. If this is understood, then what we do is secondary. Therefore, paradharma sanushtitan swabhavaniyatam swabhavena niyatam yaduktam swabhavajam iti etat uktam swabhavaniyatam iti. So what was said, swabhavajam, brahma karma swabhavajam, kshatra karma swabhavajam, that is called as swabhavaniyatam. So that karma, yatha, he gives an example. Vishajatasya iva krumehe visham na doshakaram tatha swabhavaniyatam karma kurvan na apnoti kilvisham papam. Just like when insect is born in the poison. You must have seen, everywhere the, insects or, some worms are created. Now, if some insects or worms are created in poison, they don't die because of the poison. In the same manner, whatever is the karma with which we are born, if we are born with the Brahmana karma, Kshatra karma, Vaishya karmas or the Shudra karma, they will not be detrimental to us. Like the poison is not detrimental to the worms born in the poison, in the same manner. The Wherever we are born, that is good for us. It is not harmful. Therefore, svabhavaniyatam karvam na apnoti kilvisham. He will not attain sin. He will not have the impressions gathered on his mind. Now, svabhavaniyatam karma kurvanaha vishajata iva krumihi kilvisham na apnoti uti yuktam parama dharma hi bhayavaha cha iti. So this was said that like the worm in the poison, when somebody does the karma according to his own inclination, he does not obtain kilvisham sin, because like the poison doesn't harm the worm born there. And paradharma cha bhayavaha, and also it was said that the dharma of other is also bad. We were seen, in the 3rd chapter of Gita. Shreyan sadharmo vigunaha paradharmo bhayavaha. So this was said here in this chapter, and in the 3rd chapter also the same thought was said. So, anatmadnyaha cha nahi kaschid kshanamapi akarma krit tishtati iti. So, nahi kaschid kshanamapi tishtatya karma krit. Nobody can ever remain without doing any karma even for a moment. Who are those? Anatmadnyaha. The one who has not recognized his own essential self, he who has a mistaken identity, he who thinks that he is the doer. Prakrute kriyamanani gune karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma karta hamita manyate. Such a anatmadnya, the one who has wrong understanding about himself. For such a person it was said that nobody can ever stay without karma. And therefore, continuing the same thought of the 3rd chapter, now in the 48th verse, the teacher says, Sahajam karma kaunteya sadoshamapi natyajet sarvarambha hi doshena धूमेनाग्निरिवावृताः सहजम सहजन्मना एव उत्पन्नम सहजम किम तत् कर्म कौन्तेय सदोषम अपि त्रिगुणत्वात् न त्यजेत. हे कौन्तेय, हे कुंती पुत्र, हे अर्जुन, the karma which is born with our birth. What is the karma which is born with our birth? Depending upon the predominance of the guna in us. If we are born out of the predominance of the sattva guna, we will be different. We will be labeled technically as Brahman. If we are born with the rajoguna and less selfishness, we will be technically labeled as the kshatriya, and so on. So this kind of karma, sahajam karma, sa dosham api na tyajet. Here Bhagwan's commentary is very, very beautiful. Bhagwan says, even this karma, sa dosham api, even it is associated with the limitations, dosha, blemish, shortcomings. What is the dosha in the karma? Trigunatvat. Because they will keep us in the three gunas of the Prakriti. This is the dosha. Because every karma will have some or the other kind of karma phala. And that karma phala will keep us busy in harvesting the new lives, new births. And those new births again will do a lot of karma. And in this manner it will continue one after another. So, Kaunteya sadosham api trigunatvat na tyajeta should not be given up. What is the reason? Sarvarambhaha arabhyante iti arambaha sarva karmani iti etat prakarnat. So, according to the topic that is under discussion, the meaning of sarvarambha means all the karmas. So what it is? Ye kechit arambaha swadharma paradharma cha te sarve evihi yasmat trigunat त्रिगुणात्मकत्वम अत्र हेतु त्रिगुणात्मकत्वात् दोषेण धूमेन सहजेन अग्नि इव आवृताः. Now whether it is your karma, swadharma or paradharma, all of them are falling in the purview of the three gunas. Is it not? Therefore, whether you do your karma or you do somebody else's karma, you are already getting caught up in the limitations of the karma. And therefore, ye kechit arambhaha, all the undertakings, swadharmaha paradharmaha cha, whether your own or somebody else's, te hi sarve yasmat trigunatmakatvat, because all of them being in the limitation of the three gunas, atra hetu trigunatmakatvat. So here the cause is because they belong to the three gunas. Therefore, dhumena doshena sahajena agni iva avritaha. So, doshena dhumena, like the fire is associated with the smoke, in the same manner. Every karma is in the purview of the three gunas. So, therefore, there is no karma as superior or inferior, and therefore, my karma is inferior and your karma is superior. Therefore, I will do your karma and you do my karma. Why the Brahmin should be given the books in the hand? Why not the Shudra be given the books in the hand? This kind of thing is a totally wrong understanding of the science of life. So, sarvarambha hi doshena dhuvena agni iva avritaha. Now, what is meant is, सहजस्य कर्मणः स्वधर्माख्यस्य परित्यागेन परधर्म अनुष्ठाने अपि दोषात् न एवमुच्यते. Because even if you feel that I will do somebody else's superior karma, but the basic limitation of every karma is the three gunas. And therefore, even if you do the karma of others, superior kind of karma, according to you, you are getting caught up only in the three gunas. You are not getting out of it. It is something like, I think I don't like this business, I'll start some other business. So you give up this business, start other business. But every business is the same wreck. There is no difference. Like, I think, I am tired of this wife, I'll get divorced, I'll get married to other one. The same thing. No change. Because as long as she is your girlfriend, she is very good. The moment she becomes wife, something goes wrong with you, not with her. Therefore, this is all the trick of the mind. So, सहजस्य कर्मणः स्वधर्माख्यस्य परित्यागेन परधर्म अनुष्ठाने अपि दोषात् एव. They are also equally full of limitation. न एवं उच्यते. So one is not freed from the limitation. Therefore, भयावहा च परधर्मः. And also in addition, paradharma is bhayavaha. Bhayavaha is full of fear. Because if you are good in your own field, according to your own inclination, that is better. Don't get involved into somebody else's things. When this is not understood, I have come across many, the so-called VRS people. They have that funny notion. I think I will start business. In this government job, they don't allow me to do anything. And they are all corrupt. This, that, And then they will take the retirement. And they have got a huge amount in their hand. Suddenly, 20-25 lakhs. And then they start investment. Then they start doing something. And day by day, every pie is spent. Therefore, this is only imagination, that I can also do business and earn money. It is not so simple. You find out what is your inclination and grow accordingly. So, nacha shakyate asheshataha tyaktum adnena karma yataha tasmad nat tyajadi ityartaha. So, what is the conclusion? Conclusion is this: therefore, Adnena karma na tyajet. Because asheshatah tyaktum na shakyate. So as long as you are ignorant, you consider yourself to be the body, you consider yourself to be incomplete, you consider that you will be happy by getting the worldly things, you have lot of desire load on your mind, till then it will not be possible for you to get freedom from the karma. And therefore there is nothing wrong in doing karma. Do your karma, fulfill your desires, and after you come to a point that desires cannot be fulfilled, very good. You have learned from your life. Now the question comes, what for do the karma? Do the karma only sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. So continue doing the karma. For what purpose? For the purification of the mind. So that jnana nishtha lakshanam siddhim avapnoti. Because such a person alone can attain the qualification for knowing something higher, one's own essential self. And therefore, the conclusion is, ignorant person should not give up the karma, but they should give up the wrong notion associated with the karma. This is what is said. Now here, after this, there is a long discussion about the different philosophies. Vaisheshikas, this one, that one, and all of them ultimately come to this conclusion that katham tarri atmanaha avikriyatve asheshitaha karmanaha tyago na upapadyate iti. If according to Bhagavan, Atma is nirvikar, then if Atma is nirvikar, then how do you say that the karma cannot be given up totally by the Lord? So the teacher says, यदि वस्तु भूता गुणा यदि वा अविद्या कल्पिता तद धर्म कर्म तदा आत्मनि अविद्या आरोपितम इति एव अविद्वान नहीं कश्चित क्षणमपि अशेषतः त्यक्तुम शक्नोति द्युक्तम. What Bhagavan told, that whatever are the qualities, attributes of the body, senses, etc., their modification, their karma is when it is superimposed on the absolute reality through ignorance. Then for such a ignorant person who is mistaking, when the body is old, I am old, when the body is unhealthy, I am unhealthy, when the eyes are seeing, I am seeing, to such an ignorant person it is said that karma cannot be given essentially, totally. You have to do the karma. But vidvan tu punaha vidyaya avidyayam nivruttayam, but the wise man, he who has through the proper understanding about his own self, shaknoti eva asheshataha karma parityaktum, he is able to give up all the karma, because avidya aropitasya shesha anupapattehe. Because either you are ignorant or you are wise, you are not halfway. Therefore, once you have discovered your essential nature, that akarta, abhokta, nishkriya, nirvikar, this absolute self I am, thereafter there will be no karma born out of this man. That is why Bhagavan told us in the 3rd chapter, yastvatmaratireva syat atmatruptascha manavaha atmanneva cha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. For him there is no karma, there is no limitation of the karma. That doesn't mean he may function, but he is not doing the karma which will create the bondage of the karma. For such a wise person, it is possible to give up all the karma asheshataha completely. Now, nahi taimirika drishtya adhyaropitasya dvichandradehe timira apagame shesha avatishtate. Once this squintness of the eye has disappeared once for all, the second moon that was seen because of the squint in the eye, a part of that doesn't hang on. It goes away totally. We cannot say that, little squint I am seeing, total has gone. No, either you are seeing or you are not seeing the illusory moon. In the same manner, evam cha sati idam vachanam upapannam. Therefore it is said and is right, sarva karmani manasa sve sve karmanye bhirataha samsiddhim labate naraha swakarmana tamabhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha iti cha. Therefore, this is rightly said that sarva karmani manasa sannyasyasте sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karayan. Therefore, this is right that the one who has known his essential self, he has renounced all the karma, good or bad. And for attaining that qualification, sve sve karmanya abhirataha samsiddhim lavate naraha. And that qualification is attained by doing our duty not as a duty but our devotion to the Lord. And by then alone we can attain that qualification to discover the truth. या च कर्मजा सिद्धि उक्ता ज्ञान निष्ठा योग्यता लक्षणा तस्याः फलभूता नैष्कर्म सिद्धि ज्ञान निष्ठा लक्षणा वक्तव्या इति श्लोक आरभ्यते. Now what was said? या कर्मजा सिद्धि उक्ता. What was said? That is, when you do your karma sincerely or as a worship of the Lord, what will happen? ज्ञान निष्ठा योग्यता लक्षणा सिद्धि भवति. You become qualified to know the truth. Now tasya phalabhuta, after you have become qualified to know the truth, naishkarma siddhi, then you attain the liberation. Then you attain freedom from the karma. And that freedom from the karma is jnana nishtha lakshana. What was the first siddhi through the karma? Jnana nishtha yogyata lakshana. And what is the siddhi attained through the qualification of this is the jnana nishtha lakshana. Because you already have the yogyata, the qualification. So that has to be vaktavya, to be told. And therefore we start in the 49th verse. Asakta buddhi sarvatra Jitatma vigataspruhaha Naishkarmya siddhim paramam Sanyasenadhigacchati. Asakta buddhi, asakta sangarhita buddhi antakaranam yasya saha asakta buddhi sarvatra putra daradishu asakti nimitteshu. So first, how do we attain the ultimate emancipation from the limitation of the relativity? Now, step by step. First, asakta buddhi. He has no more attachment to putra dara. Putra is the wife, dara is the putra is the son, dara is the wife. So putra dara gruhadishu, etc. No more attachment to anything pertaining to this world, apara vairagya, according to Patanjali's Yoga Darshan. Asakta buddhi sarvatra. There is no more attachment. When this attachment will be weakened? When we have the clear and pure mind. What is the pure mind? Pure mind is able to appreciate without getting corrupted by the emotions. That all our relations in this world, brother, mother, sister, husband, father, or son, friend, enemy, these are only in relation to the gross body. And what is our relation with the gross body? Born out of ignorance. Therefore, all these relations which are there, it has no meaning whatsoever. And such a person lives in this world, but never gets corrupted, influenced by all the relations around. And therefore, asakta buddhi. Otherwise, one gets extremely influenced by that and one cannot grow spiritually. Asakta buddhi. Then jitatma. Jitatma sarvatra means putra daradishu. Jitatma, jito vashikrita atma antakaranam yasya sa jitatma. How he is able to conquer the attachment? Because his mind is under his control. A person whose mind is not under his control, he becomes emotional. And then he goes, divorces the reason. And then tries to establish things through emotion. This is how, when we want to get certain things done, logically, reason-wise they are wrong, then we start crying. And then in the tears of their weeping, all the reason is dissolved and emotions overpower and everything is lost. Therefore, jitatma vashikritaha atma antakaranam yasya sa jitatma. First, asakta buddhi. Second is self-control. Then the third is vigata spruha. Vigata spruha trishna deha jivita bhogeshu yasmat saha vigata spruha. He who has no more longing, desire, even for living. Forget about the enjoyment of this world. Now see what is meant is, all our desires can be summarized in two desires. Only two. Desire number one, to live, L-I-V-E. Desire number two, to leave, L-E-A-V-E. When we want to live, we don't want to die. We imagine we are a body. Therefore, we don't want to die. And when we want to leave, we imagine that we will be able to live only as a body. So in both the cases, our understanding is that I is the body, and as a body I must live, as a body I must not die. Therefore, vigata spruha trishna deha jivita bhogeshu yasmat saha vigata spruha. He has no more longing to live or the urgency to die. Now further, yaha evam bhutaha atmadnyaha. Now he is the real atmadnya. Now see, the three things are told in this verse. First, asakta buddhi, your mamata, everything is taken care of, zero, perfect vairagya. Second thing, jitatma, perfect control over your mind, sayyama. So one, you have vairagya, apara vairagya. Second, you have got sayyama. And third, vigata spruhaha, the para vairagya. Not even the desire to live or die. Such a person, ya evam bhutaha atmadnyaha saha naishkarma siddhim. What is the meaning of naishkarma siddhi? Now this is a technical word. Nirgatani karmani yasmad nishkriya brahmatma sambodhat sa nishkarma. Nirgatani karmani yasmad, he from whom all the karmas have disappeared. That means he is no more the doer. Nirgatani karmani yasmad. Why? Because nishkriya brahmatma sambodhat. Because he has come to discover that he is the nishkriya parabrahma paramatma. Bodha, knowledge, sambodha, firm abidance. So now he is firmly abiding in this experience that he is none other than the parabrahma paramatma, which is nishkriya. See how beautiful it is? Why? What is the naishkarma siddhi therefore? Naishkarma siddhi means when all the karma disappear, and all the karmas can disappear only under one condition. When we come to discover ourselves to be that nishkriya, absolute Brahman. There is no other way. So because yasmad nishkriya brahma atma sambodhat, he has discovered himself to be this Parabrahma which is free from karma. Sa nishkarma. he has really attained freedom from the karma. So nishkarma, tasya bhavo naishkarmyam. The bhavavachak naam is naishkarmya. And taccha siddhi sa naishkarmya siddhim. And this is called as the naishkarmya siddhi, means what? Attainment of brahmatmaikya bodha. Therefore naishkarmya siddhi means we have recognized our essential self as none other than this infinite reality. Va siddhi nishkriyatma swarupa avasthana lakshanasya siddhi nishpatti. Or other way of looking at it is nishkriyatma swarupa avasthana lakshanasya siddhi. When we are come to recognize that the nishkriya is my essential nature and firm abidance in this experience, nishpatti tam naishkarma siddhim. So both ways. Either this Mahatma Atmajna Purusha has discovered Brahmatmaikya Bodha, or he has come to discover that Prakrute Kriyamanani Gunai Karvani Sarvashaha. Everything is happening in the Prakriti, and I have nothing to do with that. In this manner, he who has discovered, like in the 3rd chapter Bhagavan says, Name parthasti kartavyam trishulokeshu kinchana. I am not involved anywhere in this world. He who has this firm abidance, he has attained naishkarmya siddhim. And what is this siddhim? Paramam prakrushtam karmaja siddhi vilakshanam. What is the karmaja siddhi? The siddhi born out of the karma is jnana nishtha yogyata lakshana. Through the karma, we get the karma phala. One type of siddhi. Second type of siddhi, through the karma, our mind becomes purified and we may seek the truth. But again, because of something or the other, if again our mind becomes corrupted and we start getting involved in the relative existence, again the karmaja siddhi is lost. See? This is how many people, many yogis, when they are doing their yoga abhyas, they are perfectly all right. And then after some time, when their yoga abhyas stops for something, all their siddhis start disappearing. To understand this yoga abhyas siddhi and their disappearance, take a gross example. When a player, any player, tennis, cricket, badminton, chess, any player, when he is keeping himself in tune with the game continuously, his form remains perfect. And if he does not continue that practice, immediately all his efficiency goes down. What is the reason? Be attentive. The reason is, in Prakriti, avritti is essential to stop the vikruti. Therefore, abhyasa yogena tataha mamichchaptum dhananjaya, abhyasa vairagyabhyam tan nirodha, abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagena cha grihiyate. All these 3 instructions are only in the field of the Prakriti. Because in Prakriti alone there is a Vikruti. And therefore the importance of Sanskriti. But the absolute, the Kutastha Nitya, Parabrahma Paramatma, so therefore this is called as Paramam Prakrushtam Karmaja Siddhi Vilakshanam. Now what is this Siddhi which is superior, other than, different from the Karmaja Siddhi? Sadhyo Mukti Avasthana Rupam. Sadhyo Mukti, instantaneous freedom. See? There and then, now and here, not there afterwards. If you do this pranayam, then slowly there will be Nadi Shodhanam. But Nadi Shodhanam is not told by Patanjali. Never mind, it is told by Vashishta. So you borrow the Nadi Shodhana of the Vashishta then Sayama of this Patanjali, and then Kundali is not told by Patanjali anywhere. Then borrow the Kundali from the, what is that, Gheranda Samhita or the other Hatha Yoga Pradipika and make a hodgepodge and then leave. See? Therefore, this Siddhi, Brahma Jnana Lakshana, Brahmatme ke bodha lakshana, Paramam, Sadyo Mukti Avasthana Rupa. Now or here, now and here. There is no question of then and there. So, Sannyasena Adhigacchati, Sannyasena Samyak Darshanena Tatpurvakena Va Sarva Karma Sannyasena. So, what is the meaning of sannyasa? There are two meanings given by Bhagavan Shankaracharya. Sannyasa is Samyak Darshana. Samyak Darshana is correct recognition of one's own identity. It is called as sannyasa. Nyasa means placement. Proper placement. If I keep this book at this proper place, then I can read comfortably. Then this is called as the sannyasa of the book. Samyak nyasa, proper placement. If I keep this book somewhere else and try to read, it will be struggle for me. So I will say that it is not sannyasita. It is not properly kept. In the same manner, sannyas means correct identity, proper identity. As to who am I? Whether the body, the prana, panchakoshas or their illuminator, Sakshi Chaitanya, Kshetrajnam Chapi Mamidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. That is called as the sannyasa, Samyak Darshana Tatpurvakena Sannyasena or Sarva Karma Sannyasena. So here sannyasa also means Sarva Karma Sannyas. Sarva Karma Sannyas is called as the Naishkarmi Siddhi. And this Naishkarmi Siddhi is possible only when all the karmas are given up. All the karmas can be given up only when there is zero Kartrutva Bhiman. And the zero Kartrutva Bhiman will be possible only when we have discovered the Brahmatmakya Bodha. When we have come to know that I am that absolute, immaculate, unchanging, Nishkriya, Nirvikari, Niranjana, Nirguna, Parabrahma, Paramatma, Tatha Chauktam, Sarva Karmani Manasa, Sannyasyaaste Sukham Vashi, Navadvare Pure Dehi, Naiva Kurvanna Karayan iti. Therefore, Sarva Karmani Manasa Sannasya, having given up all the karma by the mind, then na kurvan na karayan aste. Thereafter is neither the doer nor he prompts other to do something or the other. So purvoktena swakarma anushtanena Ishvara abhyarchana rupena janitam prag ukta lakshanam siddhim praptasya utpanna atma viveka jnanasya केवल आत्म ज्ञान निष्ठा रूपा नैष्कर्म लक्षणा सिद्धि ही येन क्रमेण भवति तत् वक्तव्यम इति आह. So up to the 49th verse, the principle was told. What is the principle? Asakta buddhi, then jitatma vigata spruhaha, sannyasena naishkarma siddhim apnoti adhigacchati. This is the principle. That the one who is free from all attachment, the one who has got full control over himself, one who has attained the upper and the paravairagya, and one who has recognized his correct identity about who he is, he alone attains Naishkarma Siddhi, where there is no limitation of the karma. Or Brahmatmakya Bodha is the Naishkarma Siddhi. How this is attained, that krama, that sequence has to be told. And therefore, the 50th verse onward, the sequence of this spiritual practice is told. Therefore, purvoktena swakarma anushtanena. So see, one by one step, Bhagavan Shankara summarizes every now and then. Purvoktena, what was said earlier, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Visham, Shudranam cha Parantapa. These four types of people conduct four types of karma according to their swabhava. Purvoktena. swakarma anushthanena. So if they do their duties, how they do their duties? Ishvara abhyarchana rupena. No more as a burden, but as a worship of the Lord through their karma. As a result of this, janitam pragukta lakshanam siddhim praptasya. As a result of this, he will get that siddhi which was mentioned earlier, pragukta lakshanam, which is that utpanna atma viveka jnanasya. Then he will have the clear understanding about the Atma Tattva. Kevala Atma Dhyana Nishtha Rupa Naishkarma Lakshana Siddhim. And as a result of this, he will ultimately attain Brahmatmekya Bodha, which is called as Naishkarma Siddhi, Yena Kramena Bhavati. As this will happen, to tell this, now the 50th verse says, Siddhim prapto yatha brahma tathapnoti nibodhame samasenaiva kaunteya nishtha jnanasya ya param. Siddhim praptaha, the one who has attained this siddhi, swakarmana ishwaram samabhyarcha tat prasadajam kayendriyanam jnananishta yogyata lakshanam siddhim praptaha, siddhim prapti iti tad anuvadaha uttarartha. So what was said in the earlier verses, that is again repeated here. Siddhim praptaha means what? Swakarmana ishwaram, by one's own karma, Ishwaram samabhyarcha, having worship, and as a result of this, tat prasadajam, as a result of this, the purification of the kaya, indriya, mind, etc., and therefore jnana nishtha yogyata, one becomes qualified to know the truth, that siddhim prapta iti tad anumada. Now, kim tad uttaram yadartaha anuvada iti. Now, why this is again and again repeated when it was already said? Kim tad uttaram yadarthaha anuvada iti uchyate. Why it is repeated? Because yatha yena prakarena jnananishta rupena brahma paramatmanam apnoti tam prakaram jnananishta praptikramam me vachanad niboda tvam nishchena avadhara iti etat. So, yena prakarena, by which way jnana nishtha rupena, by the correct and the firm abidance in this jnana nishtha, brahma paramatmanam apnoti, one is able to attain the parabrahma paramatma, tatha tam prakaram. So that method, that technique, prakaram jnana nishtha prapti kramam, the sequence through which we will be able to attain this jnana, the Brahma jnana. Me mama vachanat nibodha. From my words, nibodha, come to recognize. Tvam nishchayena avadharaya iti etat. So nibodha means, I shall tell you, kindly understand it clearly and perfectly. Then only you will be able to practice. किम विस्तरेण न इतियाह समासेन एव संक्षेपेण एव इति हे कौन्तेय. Are you going to tell this very long way? Because we are already in the 18th chapter now. Kim vistarena? No, don't worry, don't be afraid. This is the last chapter of Gita. So nice. Then how are you going to tell? Samasena. Otherwise again the 18th chapter begins or what? So samasena eva sankshepena. I shall tell you in short. What you will tell? Yatha brahma prapnoti tatha nibodha. As you will attain the Brahma, that you understand. Iti anena ya pratidnyata brahma prapti tam idantaya darshitum ah. So to indicate this Brahma Prapti, that is being told as like this, idantaya, like this. Jnanasya ya para iti. So what is nishtha? Paryavasayam, parisamapti iti etat. Kasya brahmajnanasya ya parisamaptihi. So I shall tell you what is the ultimate of this brahmajnana, that I shall tell you. Therefore, nibodha, avadharaya, come to listen. Now here, question answers are very, very, very enchanting. Kidrushi sa. Now this jnana nishtha, brahma jnanasya ya nishtha ya parisamaptihi, that ultimate word in the jnana nishtha, brahma nishtha, kidrushi sa, how is that? Yadrusham atma jnanam. The nishtha, the firm avoidance in the self is like what? Like is the self-knowledge. Kidruk tat, how is the knowledge of the self? Like the self. Kidruk tat, yadruk atma. Now kidrushaha asau, how is the atma? Yadrusho bhagavata ukta upanishad vakyaihi cha nyayataha cha. As the atma was told by Bhagavan and Upanishad, and also logically that way. Now the Purvapakshi takes the stand. He says, Nanu vishayakaram jnanam na vishayo na api akaravan atma ishyate kvachit. But see, the jnana is always according to the object, the shape of the object. So, jnana vishayakaram and atma na vishayaha. Atma is not an object. And na api akaravan, and atma doesn't have also the form. And therefore, how can we say that the atma jnana will be like the shape of the atma? Who told you atma doesn't have a shape? It has a akar. How? Aditya varnam bharupaha swayam jyotihi iti akaravatvam atmanah shruyate. Now the teacher is taking the student for a ride. When the teacher says Atma is Nirgun Nirakar, that is right. But when the student says the Atma is Nirgun Nirakar, that is wrong. No, Atma is with the shape, with the form. Therefore, Aditya Varnam Bharupaha Swayam Jyoti Hiti Akaravatvam Atmanaha Shruyate. How do you say Atma doesn't have a form? No, it's not like that. No. Tamo rupatva pratishedarthatvad tesham vakkyanam. See, these words are used, Aditya Varnam Bharupaha Swayam Jyotihi, only to indicate that there is negation of ignorance. So it is not an assertive description of the Atma. And therefore, how do you say that Atma is Akaravan? Dravya gunadi akara pratishedhe atmanaha tamo rupatve prapte tat pratishedha arthani aditya varnam. Dravya gunadi akara pratishedhe. To remove the limitations of the attributes which are associated with the objects of the world. So to remove them, tamo rupatve prapte, and therefore like any other object in the world, Atma will be also inert. So to remove that, tat pratishedharthani, to remove that, aditya varnam ityadi vakyani. These words aditya varnam etc. are used to remove the inert aspect of the consciousness, inert aspect of the Atma. Therefore it is said. Actually, arupam iti cha visheshataha pratirupashedhat. But the Atma doesn't have any form, is specifically mentioned that arupam, asparsham, agandham. Therefore, and avishayatvacha, and also it is said in the scriptures that Atma cannot be the object of knowledge. Na sadruche tishtati rupamasya na chakshusha pashyati kaschidenam shveta shvetarupanishadi. We have seen this, that Atma cannot be the object of knowledge. Ashabdam asparsham arupam avayam tatha rasam nityam agandavacha Kathopanishadi also we have seen. Tasmat Atmakaram Jnanam iti Anupapannam. And therefore what you said, that what is the Atma Jnana? Like the Atma? So this kind of thing is not right. Katham tari Atmanah Jnanam, then you tell. Katham tari Atmanah Jnanam.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.